quarter is running. Okay, let's try this again. Hi, this is Rick with Hit Run Candlesticks. Today's date is Tuesday, December 5th, 2023. I really want to thank everybody for being here. So thank you so very much, okay? All right, tonight I've got some charts to look at. We're going to look at the whole, we're going to touch on doubling your account, things like that. I like doing that. Everybody in the members room, you probably know I'm kind of stuck on that sort of thing. I just love the whole idea of goals. I love the idea of achieving my goals, and I love the idea of taking bite-sized pieces. So anyway, we're going to talk more about that. I do have a couple of big, I think they're big announcements to make here. I don't want to get this out of the way right now. Here, let's start with this one right here. Oh, what is it? Let's see. Put that there. Put this over here. Put this. Oh, here we go. So I'm going to start with this great big announcement first. This is a big announcement. I think at least anyone that's been here for any length of time whatsoever, you know who John is at BYOB Trading. We've decided that at the first of the year, BYOB Trading prices are going to go up. Okay, that's the bad news. All right, here's the good news. If you are currently a member of BYOB Trading, this does not affect you one iota. Okay, zip, nada, zero, nothing. So not to worry. Just put your fingers in your ears. You don't have to listen to anything else for this anyway. So you're cool. You're very cool. There are still some. There's some. Watch your emails. There might be. Little birdie tells me. Little birdie tells me that there might be a little. Get in on the 2023 pricing with some discount codes, perhaps, and that's locked in for you. Always remember you can cancel at any time. I don't want to use the word locked in and scare somebody. You're just locked into that pricing. So January 1, prices will be going up. Watch your emails. We will be sending out more notifications and more updates on that. And please do remember, if you're currently a member or you become a member, you are locked into the 2023 pricing. All right. Okay. Big announcement number 2 coming up. Big announcement coming up too. For members, please do not pay too much attention to this. I'll tell you why in just a second. Okay. For members of Hit and Run Candlesticks, please don't pay attention to this right now. On December 16th, let me do this right here. That way I don't mess up the date. I can read it. On Saturday, December 16th at 11 a.m. Eastern, I will be doing a full workshop on doubling your money in your trading account in a year. My year is 210 days, but we'll go into that later. But basically, it's a year. So if anyone is interested in that, here, I can put the link out for you. Copy. I'm going to post the link right here. There's the link for it if anyone is interested. Okay, members, it's your turn. I'm not going to give you a link. I will give you a link tomorrow. I will start to send it out to members, but it is only $97 for members if you are interested. So non-members, if you're interested, one time $247, Saturday, December 16th. Members, don't worry about it till tomorrow. You'll get a different link. It'll be, it'll be a different link. We'll talk to you tomorrow, okay? And a few days after that. Okay, let's get this thing out of the way and let's look at some charts. Let's talk about the market. Thanks for letting me get through all that. All right, so let's talk about the market. Now, so my day in the market was, I had to leave and I couldn't come back. I got back probably half an hour after the market closed, so I was kind of stuck. And what I was doing, I was kind of stuck at where I was. Wasn't planning to be gone all day. Anyway, this little section right here, This is the line that I need the market to go over to be comfortably bullish. Let's say comfortably bullish. I remain bullish. I am bullish, and here, let me show you why. If you look at this chart, which I think this chart is probably one of the most important charts there are. You know, I just realized something. I was wondering where that went to. There it is. I'll draw those lines there again in a minute. I just realized what happened to them. I remain bullish in the market as long as the momentum stays in the market and the trend stays. Now, for purposes of momentum, I'm not looking at a 5-minute chart or 15-minute chart. I'm not even looking at hard right edge price action or candlesticks. I'm just looking at this right here. Is the 3 still above the T line? It's a simple answer, yes or no. Is the T line above the trend indicator? Simple answer, yes or no. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no ring around the rosy. There's no, well, no. It is extremely clear. It is extremely visual, and it's extremely simple. So the answer has to be yes. It has to be yes. Now, while the answer has to be yes, it doesn't mean that I have to trade. So right now, I remain bullish with some extreme caution. I will get into some things here in a minute on why some caution. Now, I'm going to go back in those lines right there. I had them on another area. I'm going to do it again. And I think the way I did those was on the 60-minute chart. I think that's the way I did it. So I'm going to go up here from this top and go down to this bottom right here. Yeah, that's the way I did it. Well, right from this top and go right down to the bottom. Now, this is the TC2000 Fibonacci tool, but these are not Fibonacci lines. I'll tell you in a second what they are for those that don't know. I'm going to go back to the daily now. And the reason I did this, I think the hourly just shows off the highs and lows very well. It shows off the chop extremely well. You know, while I'm here, let me show you. Probably should have started with that. So let's paint this red here. You know, if you look at this chart, paint this blue maybe. There we go. If you look at this chart, you can see it's trending up pretty nice. And all of a sudden we get right into here. Here's where you just kind of back up and look at the chart. You get right into here and you can kind of see that it starts to move sideways. And after looking at it, really, I think it kind of starts moving sideways about right here. You get this gap up and then we start moving sideways. You know, somebody could also make an argument maybe over here, but I'm going to go with this. So we start moving sideways. That's a sign of chop. All right, so what do we do in chop? It's my personal belief that about 80–85% of all traders that have made money the last couple of weeks are likely to lose money while we're in chop. The market has to eat too, you know. They have a right to make money. We're not the only ones that have a right to make money. The money makers have a right, you know. The people trading against us, they have a right to make money too. And believe me, they make hay during chop, okay? So, as I see this moving sideways, I want to draw this line right there. Right there. And I want to put these lines up here. And this is the line I'm most interested in right there. Now, I'm going to go to the daily now. There we go. Open this up a little bit. There you go. Now you can see this little 3 lines bunched up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little tool right here, come over here, and I'm just going to paint acted kind of funny there, but that's okay, I guess. That's what I need for price to be over, to be excited bullish, buyable bullish, jump in bullish, that kind of thing. That's what I'm going to need. Now, if I look at this chart, I can also see that it's going to be very, 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 very important that we take out that line right there. And it just really, it's just pointing out the high of this candle right in here. So above this line, So above, ooh, there we go, above 456.75. I'm gonna be pretty bullish. A little bit of caution as we bump up against this, whatever this is, 458 line, and then we'll just worry about what happens next when next gets here. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at. I mentioned that these are not fib lines. I'm guessing most everybody knows what they are, but for those that don't, what this is quadrant lines. So rather than use fib lines, I choose to use quadrant lines. It's just a fib line retracement tool, and I've just added quadrant lines in there. It's pretty simple to do. I think you could probably do it with any program if you're, whatever program you use, if you're interested in that. And it starts at 0 and then go up in quarters is all it does. For the 3 little lines bunched up, I just created the 50% is a center line, and I just created 2 lines on each side of it. There it is right there, 46.5, 53.5. It just creates this kind of a little bunching of like a 50% area. It's mostly for me just so I can see it, and that's what I have right there. So okay, so went through the market here. I want to look at the cues real quick. And by the way, if there's any questions at all, please jump in. Don't think you can't ask questions. I love questions, especially from any new folks here. Don't be bashful, okay? So we had some lines put up here on the cues. Now, you can see that we came right down yesterday. Nice little tail here. Closed up a pretty decent candle. The most important thing about yesterday's candle is what today's candle is going to do. And today's candle acted very, very, very good. Ended up with a nice little bullish engulf. The problem is, if we were to come over here and put this little tool on here again and go from this top to this bottom, yeah, right there, then what I'm going to do is come paint this up so you can see it really nice. There you go. I don't know why that's not going over all the way. Huh. Anyway, you can see that little bunching area. That's the 50% retracement from this high to this low. I don't like it below that line. Makes me a little nervous, makes me a little uncomfortable below that line. One of the keys to successful trading is knowing when to trade. Not a lot of trading. That's not the answer to successful trading. We are not day traders. Day traders are all about day trading. I mean, they wake up in the morning with their engines running. Day traders wake up in the morning and put an extra shot of espresso in or something like that. Swing traders, you know, hey, we have coffee with creamer in it. You know, that's what I do. Coffee with creamer in it. You know, swing traders get up in the morning, make some toast, make some eggs, maybe have that second cup of coffee. We take it easy. Day traders, bring that espresso on, rock and roll. Day trade every day. We don't have to trade every day. We only really want to trade when everything is in our favor. That's when we want to trade. Because and I would like some answers on this one, okay? Wouldn't everybody like to have a 70% win rate? It's just yeses. I mean, if somebody says no, say no. It's okay. You know, maybe you have an 80%. Maybe you have an 85% win rate. Okay, you can say no if you want. You can absolutely say no. Well, the way to make a 70% win rate is to take trades only when everything is in your favor. If you go back and you take a look at your and by the way, this is December, the end of the year. This is a great month to do this right now. This is a great month to sit back a little bit, maybe ease up on the trading, and just, because if you haven't made it by now, you're not going to make it, okay? There you go. Peter says 81%, so no. That's kind of funny, by the way. I like that. And for Mike, you know what? Mike's a good trader. Mike had a great mentor, great coach, great teacher, good friend too, he is. So way to go. And no, it's not me, by the way. I'm Mike's friend, but I'm not his coach or mentor. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. If you go back and look, and December is a good time to do that, but if you were to actually dig in, I bet what you might find is where you fell down was when the market was choppy or maybe headed down a little bit, but you were bound and determined to be bullish. Or the market was trending up, healthy as a horse, but you were bound and determined to be bearish. And I'll bet you a big cheeseburger that you will find that if you would have just not traded through those times, you would be doing pretty darn good on your portfolio. But what would that mean? It would mean you'd have to get rid of the espresso in your coffee. And that might be hard for some folks, okay? But you have to learn how to tame it, learn how to control it. Because I look at this, overall, I really am still bullish the Qs. I'm bullish the Qs because kind of messed up here. Let me see if I can clean that out. There we go. We are still above the trend indicator. Now, I will say, here's the yellow line is below the white line. By the way, the yellow line is the 3 exponential moving average. The white line is what we call the T line, or just simply the 8 exponential moving average. That's all it is. But you can see the green dots here are still bullish. Remember what I said earlier about the SPY? I think we're still bullish, but it doesn't mean I have to trade right here. Okay? I'm looking at the momentum. The momentum is still up. I do not have to trade right here. So let's go back over here. See those little 3 lines? That's what I need price to get over. And it's just a simple, it's just a simple little vote is all it is. If this is the 50% line between this high and this low, then wouldn't it stand to reason that using this logic, now you may not agree with this, okay, that's fine if you don't agree with it, but just work with me on the logic, all right? If price remains below the 50% mark, wouldn't it just stand to reason that these bears actually have control? Doesn't matter what these 2 candles are doing. Doesn't matter at all. If we are still halfway, these candles have not overcome the bearish attitude yet. On the other hand, once we move over that, if we move over that, wouldn't it stand to reason that the bulls have control? Because they've taken now that move and they have voted to be better than the 50%. All right? Thanks, Bobby. So, like I say, you may disagree with the way I have the chart set up, or you may not ever use this sort of thing, but just try to think of the logic there, the whole 51. Why do businesses go into business and they give 51% to, I'm just going to say somebody else, okay? So they get an advantage. That's why they do that. Think about it. And we're all old enough. You guys know people that somebody owns a business, but maybe their spouse, okay, owns 51%. They get an advantage. Why can't we get the same advantage? Why can't we have it? And that's all this logic is right here. It's just, we move over 51%, you have an advantage. You stay below 50%, you still have an advantage. The advantage is maybe consider shorting, consider, but for goodness sakes, don't be long. It's staring you in the face. You do not have an advantage. Okay? So that's my logic behind that. That's why I can look at this chart and I can say I am still bullish because I'm dedicated to those green dots. Okay? I am dedicated to those. Now, price can get awfully ugly. Price can even move below those green dots. Price can move below those green dots. as long as that dot stays, well, that's not true on my chart. That won't work out. I shouldn't do that, I guess. I get it. Price could come down close. On my chart, if price goes below the green dot, it will turn red. So I can't say that. But if the T line stays above the trend indicator, overall, I'm going to have to remain to the bullish side. But please believe me when I tell you, I do not have to buy anything here. And I won't. Not long, anyway. Okay? So, with that said, one sec there, Walter. So with that said, I look at this chart, and this is what I put this in early before I had to leave this morning. This is what we have to clear to be bullish up there. And now, we run into another possible problem along the way, and here's what that problem is going to be. If we do close up, watch this line right here, okay? Watch this high right here, and watch that high right there. And what we've got going on here is that possible head and shoulders. I could have made this a little bit bigger, I think. I can still do that. There we go. Something like that, okay? So just give that a watch right there and be careful. So right now, a whole lot of caution. Let's take a look at IWM. Sorry, I never start anything with a game plan on a webinar. I have a few notes, but I don't usually have a game plan. What I mean by that is, I guess my notes are my game plan. The problem is, I don't know when to hush. I don't know when to stop talking about one thing. I really, really don't. And then one thing leads to another, So I apologize. Anyway, IWM, I think, is acting pretty good. If we take the low, there it is. If we take the high right here, 211.60 down here at these lows, and I just use this low, whatever that is, 162 and some change. Look where we are. Look where we rallied to when we pulled back, 50%, okay? So it just makes sense. Now, while I think we can certainly make a very clear argument, extremely clear, that the bulls pretty much have owned it, all right? I have no problem with that. But we've reached a little area now that the bears is kind of important to the bears. I mean, bears have a stake in this as well. And they're not going to just roll over and give up. And they're not going to do that. They have certain spots on the chart that they're going to call the army in. Hey, come on over here. Look at this damn bull trying to get through that line here. Well, that 50% retracement is one of those major areas. Well, they're going to defend that with everything they have. So the big question is, and these little dots right here, these are those green dots right there. As long as my momentum stays up, my trend stays up, I'm going to remain bullish. Again, it doesn't mean I have to buy that long. Doesn't mean that. So what I want to do is I want this to set up. And if it fails, we'll see it. We'll see it in the chart. If it succeeds, I'm going to change to an arrow here because I can make it green. If it succeeds, we're going to get a buy. Well, that didn't work out too well. Let's try a different color. There we go. We're going to get a buy signal and probably do the typical low, high, higher, low, bebop around a little bit. And then that's what I'll be looking for because I remain bullish right now. I remain bullish, so that's what I'm going to work with. But we're going to need that setup in there, okay? Diamonds. Diamonds have acted wonderful. They really have. I don't look at those too much during the day, honestly, so I don't have too much on those. But you can see that trend right here. There's the T-line. We could easily just come back, test that T-line right in here. If we wanted to use my same logic, all right, that whole 50% logic, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this chart, and there's actually a couple areas that we could use here. And I'm going to start with this area right here. Here we rallied up, we came back, and boom, this is where the bulls took control. So I'm going to go like this and go to this top. And I'm going to paint this little area right there. Well, that's 50% retracement from where the bulls took control, just over the 50-period moving average, and rallied up. All right. Now, here's another little area. We're going to leave this top alone, and we're going to take this and we're going to drive it up we better fill that gap, okay? We better fill that gap right here. So if we take filling that gap to this top there, let's just double this, duplicate, there we go. There's 50% of the gap. Now let's take this and run it up to right here. Right there. Just underneath that shelf. Let's duplicate this again, and let's just run it up here. So these are going to be three very important areas for me to keep track of. I'm going to get rid of this, just clean the chart up a little bit. There you go. So I'm going to watch this. If the price starts to move down, it's like climbing down from a tree. If we coming down to this first one, that's a no-brainer, okay? That's just a no-brainer. That's just logic. I mean, come on, price has to move back. So, you know, don't believe me. Go outside and pick up a rock and throw it up in the air. Just don't stand underneath it, all right? It's going to come back down. Price is the exact same way. So it's going to come back down. I'm not worried about that. Come back down. The question is, are we going to start cracking some of these other levels? If we start doing that, we're going to start changing the momentum attitude of this chart. If we change the momentum attitude, then we have to change our attitude. We can no longer be bullish. Now we're going to have to start look at the short side of things, okay? So anyway, Bobby asked, and then Walter, we're going to come back and we'll take a look at your SQQQ right now, okay? Bobby asked, where do you decide to draw the lines? You know, Bobby, there's only a couple of areas that you want to work with, and you want to work with where price has had a battle. And price, the battle, what I mean is between the buyers and the sellers, the bulls and the bears. Anytime you see something like this, and this is where you're going to see it. I mean, you always will. When you see something like that, little tight consolidation, that's where you're going to see a battle between the buyers and sellers. That's exactly what this is. Buyers and sellers in the middle of a street fight, trying to decide who the winner is going to be. Is the winner going to be the bull or the bear? Is the winner going to be the bull or the bear? Here's another one right here. And look at that, it's right smack dab in that middle one. Is the winner going to be a bull or a bear? That's exactly what those are. So that is your logical place. The other place that I would start from is peaks and valleys, okay? Peaks and valleys. So take a look at that peak right up here and the valley down low. You can take peak and a valley. We could take this peak and that valley and create our 50% line. We can take this peak and that valley and create our 50% line. So let's take this peak, let's take that valley, and let's go create our 50%. And I'm gonna go kind of make that whole thing, and shazam! Isn't it magical? Look where we stopped. Absolutely magical. Look where we broke out of, and look where we took off at. Absolutely magical. Now, so to go along a little bit more with Bobby there and to finish this up, it's like anything. It's like tying your shoes. You know, we're all probably old enough here that we may have. That's not necessarily true. I think we're old enough. We all have kids. I'll just leave it at that. Okay, we all have kids, and especially for us older ones, maybe. Okay, you remember they didn't even have Velcro back then. You had to tie your shoes. You had to actually teach your child how to tie a shoe. So it was a matter of showing them. They have to practice it a few times, and voila, they can tie a shoe. Drawing these lines are the exact same way. You just have to learn how to tie a shoe all over again. Just do it. Just play with the lines. Yes, it is a lot like fib lines. Yes, it is. I just prefer quadrant lines. The 50% though, that's 50% of fib lines, 50% of these lines are exactly the same. So there's no change there, but you are absolutely right. But it is truly magic. And you can just see it happening. When you're looking forward, what you're looking at is the possibilities And this helps you with targets or sky hooks. I can't help not to say that. And support areas where you see that 50% mark. You can do this on any time frame at all. And it works. It really does. So anyway, there you go. Thanks a lot. Let's go look at that SQQQ for Bobby. So Bobby's question is, so hold off on buying SQQQ. Bobby, I'm not here to tell you to hold off on it or to buy it. That's not my job. My job is to help you look at a chart, okay? Now, in the trading room, we might break that down just a little bit more. We might take a little different attitude about that, just a tiny bit. But this is a Tuesday night open webinar. I'm here to teach you to look at the chart. I'm here to teach you to ask you, is it time to buy SQQQ? So let me ask another question. Do you see a buy signal here? Somewhere, where is my checklist? Well, I started a checklist. Doggone it. Walter. Sorry, I said Bobby. I'm sorry. I apologize. My mind, I was still on you, Bobby. It should have been on Walter. My bad. Oh man, I had a checklist. I'm looking all over my screen. I had it somewhere. But anyway, one of the things that I want to ask myself when I look at a chart, and I could love a chart, by the way, like this rounded bottom, like this double bottom, rounded bottom here. I love what I see happening in the chart. I do. But the question is it buyable? Do you see a buy signal? I would have to say no. Okay. Now, in all fairness, I'm not about buying bear candles. I don't like bear meat. I don't know if anyone here has ever eaten bear meat, and if anyone has actually truly in their life eaten bear meat, and I have. And if you say you like bear meat, I'm going to call you a liar, pants on fire. It is the worst meat you've ever eaten in the world. So eat cow. It's much better. I don't buy bear meat. I don't buy bear meat. That's all this is. Bear meat. I want to see a bull. So what I want to see, sorry to put it that way if that offended some people, but I am from Alaska. I love to fish and I love to hunt, and that's the way it is. It is. It's terrible. Horrible. So what I want to see here are buyers. So now what we've got is a move up. I hope everyone can see this okay. I've got it kind of messed up here. You see how we went up to this high and we put this high wick? It does not excite me at all that we have a bearish candle right here. However, if we break out right here, that might excite me. Notice our 50% retracement. Okay, so let's talk about this for a second. There is good money to be made from somewhere, a bottom somewhere, to the 50% retracement. This is where we want to be a little cautious. Let the chart set up, and just for fun to separate them, I'm just going to put a little red band right here. Not meaning to be bearish, okay? Just something to separate them. And then the next thing we want to look at is a successful breakout of that area. That area now becomes our support area. Doesn't that look good right there? So I love this chart, but I do not think it's buyable today. Okay. Now, Walter, that is my choice. It doesn't mean it's your choice. I'm going to use Wally here just because he's the last person to type something. This is my choice, but it might not be Wally's choice. Okay. Wally, anybody might come in here and say, hey, look, I think the Qs are going to drop, and this is the best place to buy. And if you are a successful trader, and if you are on your road to wealth to double your account, and you're doing, and it's working, you can see it, then you're doing everything right. Everything right. For you, just not right for me. I hope that made sense to everybody, okay? All right, okay, what do we have here? I've got a list of charts. What time is it? All right, I have babbled on long enough. So Walter is saying the 3 is over the 8. I'm going to move over to this chart, a little cleaner. For those that don't necessarily follow the 3 and the 8 so much right there. So Walter is saying 3 over the 8 is not enough. It's not enough for me. Correct. It doesn't mean that it's not enough for you, or maybe Bobby or John or anybody here. Okay, that may be perfectly fine, but it is not enough for me. I want to see buyers. So Walter, if there were only 2 people in this world trading, you and me, all right, you and me, I can tell you right now, I'm going to wait and see what Walter does, because I know there's only 2 people, Walter and Rick. I'm going to wait till Walter buys it. Yeah, boy, I'm going to do that. I don't need to buy it low to make money. I don't need it low to double my money in my account. What I need is Walter to buy it and Walter to show his hand. Because I know from experience, I know that Walter, when Walter shows his hand, I know what he's going after. Walter's going to come over here and Walter's going to look at this area right here. I know this. You know how I know this? 35 years of doing this stuff. I know this. I also know that Walter is going to have his eyes on the 50% line. Walter, by the way, I really owe you something here. I couldn't have sent you enough money to set this up for me. So thank you very much. I couldn't have paid you enough ahead of time to set this up for me. So here's Walter. Go Walter, because I know what Walter's thinking. You guys all know it too. You know I'm right about this part. So Walter, I see Walter going to confirm. What do I do? I'm going to give myself a black arrow. So what am I going to do? I'm going to jump right on with Walter. Okay? So Walter is just tooling away, thinking he's just the smartest cat in the world. And he is. You know, hey, he's doing it for me. I'm happy. I think Walter's brilliant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just hang right with Walter. You go, Walter. You knock yourself dead. But I have an edge, and here's my edge. Now, unfortunately, this is not going to work and keep my beautiful artwork up here, okay? I can't keep my artwork here and show you what I'm about to show you, all right? So I'm going to have to delete this, all right? But just keep in mind, we know what Walter's doing. Now, Walter may get scared up here. He might. And Walter may decide, okay, I need to sell. That wasn't a really good color, was it? What works good with that color? Let's try yellow. Oh, that works better. So Walter might to sell. And I got to guarantee, I'll tell you right now. Again, Walter, you couldn't have set this up better for me. If Walter didn't sell here, I'll bet you $1,000 bill. Walter gets up to that 50 period moving average. He's going to take his money. He's going to grab his marbles and he's going home and he's going to be the happiest camper in the world. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. 35 years experience tells me that. Everybody in this room knows I'm right about that. If he can even get there. But I don't think he's going to get there. Now I'm about to show you why. Because I'm about to skin Walter like a cat. Not like a bear. Yuck. All right. So here's where I'm going to skin Walter. Right here. All right. Now, let's just assume for a second I'm trading with a $5,000 account. Notice I put $5,000 in this little block. I'm going to show you here. I'm going to change this to $2,000 and hit enter. Notice how these numbers change. I'm going to change it back to $5,000 because that's the number we're going to talk about. All right. So, minus is 5, 1, 2, 3. What did I do wrong? Oh, there we go. Didn't hit enter. Okay. Now, remember, I'm going to skin Walter here. I am. I'm sorry, Walter. This is going to hurt. You're going to hurt on this one. So, I'm all about doubling my money, or at least having a plan, okay? Every year, do I double my money? Hell no, I don't. All right? No. Do I make 75%? Yeah. Do I make 50%? Oh, yeah. Am I happy with that? Oh, yeah. I am. Okay? Look, the goal is to double your money. If you follow the rules, and this is something we'll talk more about on Saturday the 16th, if you follow your rules, you will find that you not only will double your money, but you'll triple, quadruple, or even more. All right. But if you're not a rule follower, it's not going to work. If you get in your car and you drive down the road and you have it in your mind that you don't buckle your seatbelt till after 5 minutes after that stupid bell rings, you're never going to make it. Okay. If you're one of those people. Although if you get into your car and you fasten your seatbelt and you start the car up and you do everything like you're supposed to, you know what? You have a chance. But if you're a rule breaker, it's not going to work for you. So just saying, sorry. So 1 year. Now, it's really not 1 year. It's 210 days. This is made for me. So thank you, Ed, for building this whole thing for me. And I'm just sharing it with you. It's 210 days. I've decided in my own world of trading that there's 210 days to trade. There's not 365. You've got weekends. You've got natural market holidays. You've got days that, well, I just want to take off. I get 2 weeks of vacation, if not maybe 3, just like everybody else. I'm going to be sick some days. That's just everybody is. So I have just figured it out that 210 days is what I work with. So this calculator is set up for 210 days. If you want to change it, you can change it. It's not going to change anything very, very much. But you can't change it to 210. You can change your number down here. So here's what we want to do. On average, all I need to do is profit, let's call it $24 a day. I'm not promoting day trading. I'm not saying that every day you've got to actually close out $24. But at the end of the week, that might be, close that out. That is possible. $119. That's all you've got to do to double a $5,000 account. That's it. A month. All you've got to do is $476. That's it. And you turn a $5,000 account into $10,000. Okay? I just want that to sink in, because the day I did that, it took a minute for it to sink into me. Holy crap, that's all I have to do? Wait a minute. You mean I don't have to go after $1,000 winners with a $5,000 account? You mean if I have a $5,000 account, I don't have to make $800 in a trade? What are you telling me? Holy cow. Batman, what an eye-opener this was. An absolute eye-opener. So here we go, Walter. I'm about to skin you, buddy. Sorry. To double my money, that's all I've got to do a day, a week, a month. All right? That's all. Think about those numbers. Now let's just come over here. I'm going to quickly try to put the artwork sort of back. I kind of remember where it was. We'll put the 50% line. We're going to give Walter a green arrow because Walter is the reason I'm buying this, right? So Walter's going to get up into here. All right, you go, Walter, buddy. Now, what I'm going to do, and I'm going to come over here and paint myself black again. So, oops, paint myself black again. K, there we go. Why K? I don't know. Why not B? I don't know. So here we are. We move up. Now I'm going to let Walter lead. You go, Walter. I'm going to let you lead. I don't need to beat you. I need to make my goal. That's all. That's all. So what's going to happen? Here we move up, and guess what? Now, I just realized if I was to buy a typical lot size, and I'm going to buy an option, a directional option, holy smoke, what am I up? I don't know, let's just say $200, okay? I have made my goal and then some. By the way, goals are made over your overall account, not one trade. But here's one trade where I could be even money on 9 other trades. And if I'm netting $200, I have made my goal. Sorry, Walter, here's where it's going to happen right now. Boom, red arrow. Ricky Boy here is going to sell. I'm going to ruin your day. Because there's only you and me trading. That's it. I'm out. Boom. I met my goal. Walter, he's up here high and dry. Naked as a jaybird. Nothing to do. Whoops. Ouch. When I sell, Walter, price is going to go all the way back here. because there's just you and me. You can't hold it up by yourself. It was you that showed your hand, and it was me that kept you feeling cocky. You go, Walter. Knock yourself dead. That's 35 years of experience, and that is saying I have a goal, I have a reason, I have a plan on how to double my money. Greed enters nowhere in it. Nowhere. Walter's thinking, hey, he's one smart cat. He is smart. Smart for me. Okay? See what I mean, Walter? I couldn't have paid you enough money to set this up. No buy signal. I want Walter to buy it. So tomorrow, everybody, if this move starts moving up, let's thank Walter. Trade smart, Walter. Does that make sense? And Walter, I want to say thank you. I'm bowing down to you right now. Thank you for playing with me. Thank you for allowing me to use you and your name in this exercise, okay? All right. With that said, I really do have some charts I want to look at. So I'm going to put this little list over here before we get too far in the night. I promise not to go all Walter on anybody. I really do. So if you have some questions about the charts, again, I promise not to go Walter on you. We're just going to simply talk about some charts. I hope that was helpful. Greg is asking what's happening Saturday. What's happening Saturday is on Saturday the 16th. Is it the 16th? Nope, not there, not there, not there. Yes, Saturday the 16th, 11 a.m. I am doing a workshop on Road to Wealth, doubling your account. That's going to be what it is. A lot of stuff there. A lot of stuff. It's going to be a couple hours recorded for everybody that takes the class. By the way, members. Again, I want to remind members: don't do this. Your price is only $97. I will make sure I get you a link. You have a spot. Don't sweat it. Don't worry about it. So this is for those that are not members that just want to learn that whole program, that whole idea. Right here for 247. Okay, so that's what's happening. All right, let's take a look at some charts here. Yes, by the way, I think that was very, very constructive and very. I think it was very good. And seriously, I was very serious, Walter. I could not have paid you enough money to set that up that way. So thank you very much. Let's take a look at SIG right in here. I'm going to get rid of that 3 EMA. There we are there. There we go. So I think SIG is setting up to move higher. And here, I'm going to show you what I'm going to look for. Now, every trader is going to be a little bit different, and you should be. You shouldn't be, and you can't be exactly like one person, whether it's me or anybody. You can't be exactly. Our fear and greed is different, and that is a DNA thing. That is something in you. That's something you can't learn. It's just in you. Your risk reward, that's something that's in you. That's not something you can copy somebody from. You can learn how different people do it, but when it comes down to it, the bottom line, it's on you on that part. As far as the mechanics of a chart, oh man, I can show you exactly what it is, and you can learn exactly what it is. So the first thing I'm going to do is come over here and just actually we'll put it right there. 35 years experience tells me that that's the best place to put it. You've got multiple touches. I don't have to have that top. I don't know about you, but I don't have to have it. So I'm going to come over and look at this. And I see a chart here that's working out very nice. Let's bring this down. There we are. I see a nice little gap. I see a little consolidation. The place should have bought this stupid thing was probably right in here. But you know what? Every one of us as traders, we could look through charts and we repeat those words 1,000 times every single day. So the thing is, don't fret about it. Go get the next pullback. And that's what I'm going to look for. Boom, boom, get the next pullback. So what I'm going to do, I typically like to put like this buy box in here, what I call a buy box. So I see a chart working. Everything meets my criteria. Do we have a momentum trend? Yep. Is the market still bullish? Right now, I think the market is bullish. I should have said yep in blue. Red is just, that's just got to be bad voodoo right there. Red. Is the market bullish? Yes, it is. So we'll just put a check mark up there. Are we coming off a nice bottom? Yes. Are we breaking out of a top? Yes. What else do you want? You know, what else do you want? You know what? I'll show you something. Here's something you might want. T2123 is bullish. That to me is extremely positive. The 15-minute is getting a little bit cranky. So we want to be a little careful. This is signaling chop. We're still bullish here. Okay, I like that. So maybe you want something else. Okay, fine. Maybe you're a MACD trader. Let me open this up. There you go. I mean, how much more bullish do you want MACD if that turns your crank, if that's what you look for? You know. So these are things I'm going to look for in a chart. I'm going to wait for a pullback. Arrow red, boom. I'm going to wait for a pullback. I'm going to wait for buyers. And by the way, this whole area is the buy area. We don't have to buy down here. I want to buy down here. I want to buy down here, and I want it to go up. Well, we don't always get what we want. Not all the time. Either way, I'm going to put this on a watch list. I think this is a great chart for the watch list. I hope that made sense. Let's take a look at BLDR. Here's another one. Now remember, I like bullish candles. So in hindsight, why not buy it here? Well, here's the problem, okay? And this took me a lot of years to figure out because I kept looking at that. I kept looking at charts that worked out, and I would go back. Well, if it works out from here, why not buy it on this candle? I mean, there's a great candle. There's a great looking chart right here, BLDR. We pop up, we pull back. Thank you for the entry at a cheaper price. Why not buy it? Well, here's why. The only reason we're looking at this chart is it's showing confirmation on this day. Otherwise, we would never look at it. It would never come up on your scan, not my scan anyway. Another thing too, we're looking at this chart because not only do we have momentum, which even with this candle here, it still has momentum in the chart as I've described momentum. But what we are not seeing is the chart that doesn't show follow through will look like this. And I'm assuming for now we're gonna do this for now, okay? Now I may be a little optimistic on 3 days up like that. I may be a tad optimistic on that. But please remember, this took me a ton of years to finally understand is that the only reason we're looking at this chart is because of this candle. Everything else is the same. The momentum is the same. The market is still the same. Everything about it is the same. But what catches your eye is the Walter right here. Sorry, Walter, couldn't resist. That's what catches your eye. Now, along with that, what I see in this chart as well are these three candles here, and we look at these three candles as something very bullish. Doesn't mean they're 100% bullish. Doesn't mean they're very bullish. We call this a Fig Newton chart pattern, where you have a bullish candle, not so bullish candle. Fig Newton, just like the candy or the cookie Fig Newton. You know, the light, the dark, the light, right there. So now it's up to me as a trader to work with the entry that I want to work in, okay? See, John is asking, could you put a very tight stop on the day in the black? Oh, absolutely, John. You are not the first one to ask that question at all. But yeah, you could say, hey, look, I'm going to buy this and put a very tight stop on it. Absolutely. You absolutely could. If you're looking for a 70% win rate or more, this is not going to work out for you, okay? Because that's going to count as a loss. Because the truth of it is, again, you're falling into this trap, which I'm not disagreeing with you on this. I'm really, really not. If that is what you want to do, that makes sense to me. It does. I've learned the hard way. I've learned for me and my style, my my trading mental attitude, okay, that this does not work. And again, what will happen is you have to remember the only reason we're looking at this chart is because of the way this price action is. If we take today's candle out, we're not going to be looking at it necessarily. Now, don't get me wrong. You're going to see this candle, and then you're going to see consolidation, okay? Again, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm really, really not. I'm just trying to point out that if you're looking for a 70% win rate, you're going to find that your win rate is going to drop dramatically if you try playing that game right there. Please don't take my word for it. Just, you go prove it to yourself, all right? Also, something else that's going to play a very, very, and I mean, this is both for your trade and my trade, okay? This will kill us both at the same time, is if the market doesn't work in our favor. So it's not the SPY that controls the charts. It's the charts that control the SPY. The SPY is one chart that you can look at and say who has control of the market. The bull or the bear that has control of the market wins everything at the end of the day. So, for instance, if this was this day, like it is, and this was this day, and we woke up today and the bears had control of the market, you're going to find that while it might sneak up, but if those bears still have control of the market the next day, what you're going to find is you're going to be looking at something maybe not like this. Maybe, I'm not trying to say that's what's going to look like if the market rolls over tomorrow. What I'm saying is this was not real. This was hope. This was please, 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 Lord, go up. That's what this was. This was all the buyers in it, but at the end of the day, the market might look, the SPY maybe, might look like this. And then what's going to happen is the next day, oh my gosh, boom, this happens, and now you're working with this. This is the scenario that will kill us both, no matter what. No matter what, okay? So anyway, to your answer, yeah, you can put a tight stop in there. It's all about your trading attitude. What is your way to trade? And there is no wrong way. There truly is no wrong way. Well, there's one way. One. Just one. And that is if your account is not growing. If your account is, here, some people have seen this. I went through a phase where I did this all the time. Let's say this is, basically your account. And then your account grows. And all of a sudden, for some reason, your account starts to do this. And you're back down to zero. Well, your account's not growing. So whatever you're doing is not working. Okay? It's not working. So you've got to change something. What you want, and you're going to have down days, down weeks, down months. I know that. Everybody does. But what you want, let's put a green one in here again. Let's put one green one. And now, it's okay to have a down, maybe even two down. But what you want is your account to be like that. But you want your account to look like those green dots right there. That's what you want your account like. So there's only one wrong way to trade. There it is right there. And thank you. I hope that made sense. I appreciate your comments. I truly do. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Jay, the next day, price discovered will discover your stop before it runs out. Yeah. You get paid. Thanks, John. Thanks. If odds on any trade are 50-50, the odds are $1 move over $10 if stop lost 20. That is way too complicated for me, Jim. Jim, I think I said this last week to you too, isn't it? You're overthinking a trade, buddy. If the odds are 50-50, I'd rather go to Vegas, tell you the truth. At least you get a free drink out of it. Might even get comped if you lose enough. And heck, you go see a show, Well, that's up to you. that one's up. I'll leave that one on you, okay? So, yeah, don't overcomplicate a trade, Jim. Take a look at Frog. I mean, I want to trade this just because of the name of it. Frog. I bought Frog. Yeah, I want to trade this just because of the name of it. So this is a lot like that Fig Newton chart pattern. This is more of a doji continuation pattern. The truth of it is a Fig Newton and a doji continuation pattern, there's not much difference. Not much at all. Price might be a little different. The doji continuation pattern will be up higher the third day. Yeah, that's true. So that's probably the biggest difference. Outside of that, there is no difference. I love that chart. I love the ticker symbol. I want to buy frog. All right, but look, we've got to put things in our favor, okay? We really do. So let's do that. So is the trend up? Yes. Boom. Is the market up? Well, for now it is, okay? For now it is. Was the T21-23 still bullish? On the 60-minute one, we already looked, and the 15-minute was, yeah, boom, okay? So that makes for chop is what that makes for. So what does that mean? You know, I like that chart, but I just might not be a buyer tomorrow. Why? Because I know that I am one of those 85% people. I've accepted it. It's okay. It's all right. I am one of those 85% people that loses money in chop. I know that. I'll own it. I own it. I can trade. I'll win some. I'll lose some. I'll win some. I'll lose some. I don't do anything. And the odds are, and I've gone back and checked it, the odds are Walter cleaned my clock. God dang it, Walter. All right. I'm going after you tomorrow, buddy. No. But really, through chop, I've accepted the fact I tend to lose money. So anyway, I love this chart. I think a good place to maybe look for an entry is somewhere on inside day. I like inside days. If we're looking for targets up here, let's look at peaks and valleys. That looks like a target. Doesn't look like much, might not be much. Let's go see. It's 6.6%. It's a $30, $30 chart. I'm going to buy a directional, simple directional option. That's going to turn that 6%, assuming it goes up. That's going to turn that 6% into a 15 or so percent trade. I'll tell you right now, that'll put 3-4 goals in my pocket on my way to double that small account. Okay. Let's look at GWRE. I did a video on GWRD. You may not have received it. I did a video on that. I sent that out tonight. I did the video, in all fairness, I didn't check the earnings on that, okay? So for those that received the video, you looked at the video. Hope you liked the video. Just keep in mind the earnings are in a couple of days. But with that said, let's take a look at the chart. I'll show you my logic of getting there. You can see the beautiful trend here. Oh, let's do it this way. You can see the nice consolidation right here. You can see the gap up. You can see the consolidation here. See the Fig Newton chart pattern. Let's go take a look at the weekly chart. And if we look, let's start with this top line up here. If you look at that top line, it makes sense where I put it. It's really simple. There's nothing complicated about it. One of the hardest things of there's two things. There's two things that I think, maybe three, that, yeah, the more we go, the more we're going to add. Doggone it. Okay. Finding the setups is going to be one of the hardest things you'll ever do. I can fix that for you, okay? I can solve that problem for you. With a snap of a finger, I can solve that problem. The second thing that's going to be hard is setting up the whole entry mechanism. I show over and over and over and over again how to do that, okay? The third thing, which is probably the hardest thing in the world that I cannot show you how to do, is putting your mind in the right place. That I can't do. I can share everything I do. Other traders can share what they do. I can give you excerpts of what other traders, people I've coached, things like that have said. But that's something you're going to have to learn the hard way. Now, the hard way can be a long period of time. It can be expensive. It can be both. I'm raising my hand for both, by the way. Or you can take the time to learn it. You'll learn it faster without actually trading. You'll learn it a little bit slower if you actually trade while you do it, but it also gives you a little bit of a knowledge advantage maybe because you're doing it in real time. There's some decisions you have to make, some serious decisions. So those are I think the hardest things there is about trading. Looking for a target, this is grade school stuff. This is easy. Peaks and valleys, where buyers and sellers have had a battle. Easy stuff. So if we take a look at that, 129 makes sense. If we take a look at 113, that's the top of where buyers and sellers made sense, or buyers and sellers had a battle. If we look at 107.60, that's right there at the bottom of where the buyers and sellers had a battle. Piece of cake. I can teach you this easy, all right? Easy. But now what we have is that whole entry thing. And that does become a little bit tricky. That really does. I hope I can help you with that. We're not going to get too much into that tonight because we're already over time. Let's take a look at Apple. Whoops, that's not Apple. That's Apple. Look at Apple. Oh, and by the way, let's go up here. Remember the whole double your account thing? Walter, I'm bringing you back, dude. Come on, Walter. So Walter's going to buy in, right? So what am I going to do? I'm going to buy in right behind Walter. Walter, go ahead. Walter's going to think he's the smartest cat in the world. He just went through 107. I love it. I love you, Walter. Go. Walter's going to go up here like that. And what's Rick going to do? Rick is going to sneak in behind Walter. And everybody here that's a member in the room can vouch for this. 100%. Well, all right, come on. There are those times where I get a little cocky during the day and I hold out for that top line. But you guys all know that by and large, what am I going to do? Walter's waiting for that line. Well, he's waiting for it. What's Rick going to do? Rick's going to come up here. Why? Because I just added 3, 4, 5 goals to double my account. Sorry, Walter. Here I go. I'm out. Walter, you're sucking wind up here now, bud. So it's not about hitting targets. It's about trading with yourself. It's about trading your account to a higher number. That's what it's about. Trading is not about getting to that magical number right there. Trading is not about getting to that top. That's just the path to profits. That's the path. If we take a look at this, I'm going to take this and we'll just start it right here, okay? And we move up here to 129. You have an area that's, we'll call it 29%, a 29% area to make your bones. What are your bones? Simply to grow your account. That is in your mind. That I cannot teach you. I can share twice, 3 times, 100 times. I can share that 200 times with you. And one of those times, all of a sudden, a light bulb will go boom. It will be the brightest light you ever see in the sky. The dots will connect, and then you will get it. But that's something I can teach you. I cannot teach you that. All I can do is share and share and share and share until one day that light bulb comes on. I don't have to get to that top to make my bones in trading. I have to meet my personal goal. And you can make your goal whatever you want. And if you start with something as simple as doubling your account, I'm just going to stop it right there because there's a fantastic world after that. There really, really is. All right. BB. Let's look at BB. Okay. BB. Well, you know, I like BB a little bit. I like what it's doing down here. The first target for me, and this is because I'm a moving average user, moving averages are nothing more than trend lines. They just move. That's all. And they do it automatic. And because I'm lazy, I'm going to use moving averages. That's not the only reason I use moving averages, but that is a big reason. So I look at this chart and I see the possibility of it moving to the 50 period moving average. That's all I see, period. Okay. Okay. With that said, that would be my trade. So if I got it down here at the bottom, I'm looking at 13, 14% on that trade. Let's go up here and let's use this little tool again. We're going to take that low. We're going to take that high and look where we are. I'm happy with that. And I'm still happy using the 50 period moving average. So that's exactly what I see in the trade. Not 1 penny more and could be a lot of pennies less. So Modi, I hope that helps right there. Okay. Hope that helps you. Let's take a look at TLT. That still looks like, whoops. You know what? Let's back up, doggone it. Let's look at BB again. I just realized I'm on a weekly chart. Let's change this to a daily chart. Thank you, Wally. Yeah, I just realized that myself. Let's scrap everything I said and let's do this all over again on a daily chart. So I'm going to get rid of everything. Gosh, didn't that change the chart right there? Wow, did that change the chart? But you know what? I'm going to go back to the weekly for a second, all right? And I think what I do want to do is I am going to mark that 50% on the weekly right there, all right? I'm going to delete that. I'm going to go to the daily now, and then I'm going to come over here and put it up again. Look where we are. Okay, it changes the dynamics of the trade, but we still have that 50% markup here. That now is going to become the target. That is the target area. Look at this chart here. I think this is a beautiful chart. Modi, I apologize for starting off on the wrong chart. Truly, truly apologize. I trade from a daily chart. We've switched this to a daily chart. I love this chart. I'm flagging this chart. Thank you very much. Look at this bottom over here. So let's do this. You see that little, I need to fix this. Just a second, please. There we go. See that little bottom here? See that bottom right here? See that bottom right there? That's an inverted head and shoulders. Talking about a big old check mark on the bullish side. There you go. The thing of it is we don't really know that that's a big old bullish check mark till we actually get some follow through. Inverse head and shoulders is not, it's an afterthought. So when you're looking at a chart like this, I want to go backwards and I want to say, oh, look, an inverted head and shoulders. That is a reversal pattern. Inverted head and shoulders are not something you look at while they're making it. But don't get me wrong. We see this all the time and we see the possibility of it setting up that right-hand shoulder. But by and large, what we're looking at is a chart like Modi here has found right here. I want to go back and look at some of the clues where I could trade this. Not get in it down here, but start trading it when it starts meeting my criteria. So super chart down here. Thank you very much. Look how that thing rallied up and just basically went sideways. All of a sudden, we got this big old bullish engulf in here. Follow through the very next 2 days. But here's what I love most of all about this chart. Members, you all know this. You've already spotted it. This is a rounded bottom breakout. Almost, okay? Almost. So close. So close. So close. Big, let's go back here. Trend indicator is green, right? The blue line is the 50 period moving average. We have gone from below the 50 period moving average to price above the 50 period moving average and the T line above the 50 period moving average. See right there? We're not yet over with this trend indicator, or it's just the 17 EMA, by the way. We're not quite over yet. That would make it a full-fledged 100% rounded bottom breakout. I'm not going to shoot it because it's not quite there. You know, I'm not going to send it to its room or put it in a corner or anything. I think I want to level on this chart just a little bit. Nice chart. So now what are we looking at? So you can see the target really turns out to be about the same, but the chart dynamics have just completely changed. So let's go look at this. So if we can put together an entry somewhere in this box to say maybe 50%, there's your 16%. I'm not going to buy an option on a $3 or $4 stock, but 16% on a $4 stock is like buying an option. That is terrific. Modi, I hope that helped. Thank you very much for bringing that to us right in there. That is a beautiful chart. Costco, how much time? I'm going to go for a couple more minutes. You guys want me to look at these real fast? Or do you have some that you're dying to look at? And I'll look at them if you throw them out there, but I'm going to rush to get through everything right now, okay? Costco. I admit the last few days, I did not like Costco. I do not like Costco. I do not like Costco. I do not like Costco. Let me explain. And it's not that I don't like Costco. I didn't like the way Costco was setting up back here. I do not like this chart pattern right here. I do not like that wick up there and that wick up there. That just means I don't like it for my trading style. That's all. That bull chart is still bullish. I shared this in the room yesterday or Friday or sometime. Can't remember. I shared the same conversation. Look, but we didn't have this right here. Okay, we didn't have that. I did not like Costco. I do not like Costco. I do not like Costco. I do not like Costco until today. And that's because it blew through everything that I did not like. But now I like Costco. Again, that is just a personal preference of trading. That's all. Everything else, it met every criteria under the sun, except the price action. And I couldn't get past these candles right here. So I wasn't interested in it. But now that it is broken out, it becomes interesting. And I'm going to actually bring it down to right here. So above 600 bucks. Above 600 bucks, I think Costco is extremely interesting. Okay. We'll go through a couple of those years up here. AES, bullish chart, flagging it. Meets all the criteria set up. Great target above. Looks fantastic, Bobby. AT&T, I love it. Looks fantastic. There's the 500 period moving average right there. That is something to contend with. We're up a little high to be buying, so I think it needs to pull back. I don't know if you're in it, doesn't matter. You know, put your stop in, raise your stop. It looks higher, but we're also in danger of a little bit of consolidation. Do watch the 500 period moving average. Ford is setting up. Ford's kind of a dog. You know, I've actually got a position in Ford, okay? But Ford's kind of a dog. I gotta tell you, it really is. It just won't get going. And really all I'm looking for is a move up here. That's it. That is all I'm looking for, up to the 50 period moving average. So just a quick little move in it. Bada boom, bada bang, you're done. Now you're going to have to set up for another trade. So I don't know what to tell you about Ford, Wally. Okay. It's on the bottom. Right now it's a fish out of water. This thing has no water. And its gills are just going, just sucking air right now. So let's wait for a good buy signal. All right. But like I say, I have a position in for it. Okay. LRCX. LRCX is nothing. Do you see a buy signal? There's only one of two answers, and your answer needs to be no. Is it short? I don't know. Are you going to short something like that that's been trending? You know, I don't know. This is a no trade for me right here. There's nothing in the trade that tells me to jump in. I'm not going to short something that has a tail sticking down here at the bottom. I'm not going to go long on anything that doesn't meet the long criteria. I don't know what your criteria is. My criteria says go find another chart for the next day or two. Okay, we did those. JCI. JCI has more upside. I say JCI has more upside. Why do I say that? I say that because the trend is moving up. Stocks in a trend will stay in a trend till it's no longer in a trend. So when I say something like JCI is moving up, it doesn't mean that it's not going to pull back and rest. All charts do that. I could have made the same exact statement right here, and I would have. That would have been a rounded bottom breakout through here. I would have made it the exact same statement. JCI looks like it's moving higher. It's moving higher. JCI, like all charts, have to breathe. They have to inhale. They have to take a breath, okay? So let them breathe. Let them breathe. But right now, JCI is extremely bullish here. Roku is setting up. Nice 3-8 trap here. Look at that pop. Look at that 3-8 trap. All the criteria is there right now, right? SQ. Look at the consolidation in SQ. I'm going to get rid of, I don't know why those are up there. Look at the consolidation in SQ. This is what we call a pop out of the box. That's a beautiful chart if you ask me. Move up. I don't know why I put those lines. Either way you look at it, well, there's the 500 period moving average right there. Look at the consolidation or the peaks over here. Doesn't it make sense that that just might be a target area somewhere in there? Since I'm a moving average user, I'm going to focus on the 500. I don't care where those things went to over there, just the area. So could we be looking at a 24% playground? Yes. Do I need to make 24% to double my money? No. Right? Good looking chart. All right. EVRG. You're desperately trying to find a trade to chart, Wally. Is that what you're doing? Bullish? Yes. Yeah. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah. You're desperately trying to find a chart. Yeah. I think desperate is a key word there. And I'm not trying to not beat up on you. I can just clearly see it. Okay. If I can see it, you can see it. You just don't know it yet. Nice bullish engulf. The key is, what are you going to do with it now? That's the key. Is it bullish? Sure. Anything that has a green trend to it here, I'm going to be bullish for the most part. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Hal, what is the energy up to? Hal is no trade or short, certainly not long. I'm not sure what you're looking for, long or short, Gary, but I'm afraid it's still short. Just because it's on the 200 period moving average trend line, it doesn't mean that it's bullish. We're going to wait for Walter. Okay, we're going to wait for Walter. We want Walter in there. Sorry, Walter, that's stuck. Again, I thank you very, very much for helping me out with that. We need to see Walter to be bullish. Other than that, that's still a bearish chart. Rick, do you ever pursue stocks that are bottoming due to tax year end selling? If yes, no, I do not. No, I do not do that at all. I look for the same thing over and over and over and over again. Boring, horribly boring. I look for charts that are trending. Let me draw a trend here, and we'll do it this way. I look for charts that have momentum. Forget trending. Momentum. That pull back. Momentum. That pull back. Momentum. That pull back. I wish they all looked like that. I really do. But that's what I look for over and over and over again. Some have longer momentum lines, and some can have shorter momentum lines. But it's the same thing over and over. Okay. Good question, by the way, on that. VIST. Bullish. But you've got to also recognize you've got a serious top up here, right? Right? Needs to be a right in there, okay? You've got to recognize, at least acknowledge that it's there, all right? I'll go back and grab up that snow. Sorry, I missed that one. You've got to acknowledge that that's there. That's a very nice chart. We'll look at a weekly because I want to see what's. Oh, we're on the verge of an all-time new breakout. Great. This is another one of these setups. I probably couldn't pay you enough money to set this up for me. So, great bullish engulf. Good. Double top up here. Bad. So what are you going to do? Well, let's see what we're going to do. The best buy, unless you're already in it, which you didn't tell me that, so we're just going to go with the best buy you're probably going to possibly get is maybe right in here. I mean, if it moves down a little bit lower, and you get in, you could get that, right? So let's take a look at this chart. Remember those quadrant lines that I use? Remember that? I'm going to use something different called Fibonacci projection lines, but these are quadrant lines. They are not fib lines. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this and I'm going to pick your bottom over here. You're so close, it's not even funny. So I'm going to come up here, wherever you want. If you want to put it on the top, wherever you want to put it, we're splitting hairs. I'm going to take this and run it up to this bottom right here. All right. So we've got ourselves some targets now. Yahoo! Skyhooks. That's what those are, skyhooks. All right, let's get rid of that little thing. Get it out of our way. So you've got 7% you can play with. I'm not saying that's not a trade, but do you want to fuss with that? Or do you want to let this thing prove itself and go after 18%? There's another thought too. Man, if I could make 18% here, why don't I add the 7 to it? Whoa, collect 25%. That is a choice. Yes, it is. You have to recognize that top, though. At least recognize it, okay? I think snow was up there. Snow. Snow is a nice little flag pennant type setup. That's trading 101. That's a buy on a breakout. Trading 101. Trending chart meets all the criteria. Everything looks good. We want to look for that breakout. Watch that top right there. This is another one. This is another one. Do we want to mess with snow for what? 2-3% maybe? Or do we maybe want to look at the bigger picture? Look at that weekly chart. Now I have to admit I already knew this, okay? Because I've already looked at snow. So, do we want to wait for the bigger picture? What if we gave up 3%, 4%, maybe 5%? Waited till this thing broke out. This is on my watch list big time. Wait for that breakout, okay? Look at this top over here. Let's come over here and put it at the bottom, right there. And could we call that a target? 50% retracement from that top to the bottom? Yes, we can, I think. Absolutely. Let's go back over here to that daily. There you go. So let's not fuss around with 3-4%. Let's come over here and take a little bigger money out of it. There we go. We'll split the difference. Maybe a 30% trade right there. I like that idea. I like that idea an awful lot. So anyway, that's my logic on snow. If somebody can use it, great. If not, okay too. I see it better and I need to wait. There you go, Jay. I like that too. I love this chart. I've been waiting for it. I've got it on the watch list. In hindsight, we can say, dang it, I wish I would have bought it down here. Absolutely wish I bought it down here. But we didn't. I didn't. So no sense in whining over it. So now let's wait for that next setup. And the next setup that fits into the 70% win rate. It fits in. This kind of puts that 70% win rate at a little bit of risk. And here's why. Because if the market rolls over or even has a pullback that more than what we might want, which you got to admit the market's not exactly gangbusters right now, then what happens is the bulls step in, they get us to this top, but that market starts to waver a little bit. This is what's going to happen. You're still holding it. You move down. You finally say, okay, you see the handwriting on the wall. You get out. You just screwed your 70% win rate. And you lost money here. I'm not saying that this is a guaranteed trade up here. But what has happened is you've beat all the bears. You're in bull territory right now. Moving up to that next bull, 50% bull territory. And you can get another 50% line here. Just come over to this like this. This is what I would do myself right there. Because this is the next level we need to get to. If you move down, look where we are, 50% mark. Like I said, I've been eyeballing snow a little bit. Okay. Telray, I don't know what Telray is doing. Telray, low, high, bear signal. We're going to need to see the buyers on it for me to step in. Okay, we'll need to see the buyers. So we have a successful low wherever you want to put it in here. There's a whole lot of little lows. There's a high at the close today. So far, that's a successful higher low. It is nasty candle, but it is a successful higher low. So what we need is that to beat that higher high. And right now, that's what I would look at over 210 or so. Okay. Last one, and then I'm done, guys. QCOM. I'm tired. I got to go home. I have a long drive home. QCOM. We're sitting right here at the 500 period moving average. Again, this is personal preference trading right now. Okay. I cannot trade this until I show proof over the 500 moving average. As I shrink this up, I also notice we're running into this problem right here. You know what? I haven't looked at QCOM. I don't recall on the weekly, but I'm going to have to do that. And if we just look at the weekly, it kind of smooths things out a little bit for me anyway, my eyeballs. So this is another one of these. What if we just sat on our tail end on QCOM? Well, for me, again, because personal preference trading, I need to write that down. Personal preference trading, PPT, personal preference trading. So personal preference trading, or PPT, says the 500 period moving average is here. Rick, you've got to wait till it successfully breaks over. I look at this chart on the weekly, I see all this mess over here, a good mess, by the way. I don't think this is a bad mess. I think it's a good mess. Once we break out, all of a sudden, look what happens. Nice little target here. Big old target up there. Doesn't that make sense? For fun, which I know where it's going to land, but well, we're going to do this anyway because I've just done it for so many times. Oh, wow, I'm a little shy. I thought it was going to come up here. So we'll go ahead and paint this. We'll paint it. There we go. Sorry, I was off. I would have bet my dollar. Would have been right in there. No, I would have lost my dollar. Here we go. I can cheat. There you go. I can cheat. I can get all three of those and raise it up. I was close. Now, I'll put it back down there where it should be. There we go. All right. Okay, so let's go back to the daily. Boom. There's a daily. There's a nice target. There's a nice 50% target area right through here. And you can see we're right at these tops. We're close enough. So I like QCOM. I just don't know if I see the entry today or tomorrow. That's all. Yeah, that would be the only thing. Outside of that, I think QCOM is great. All right, I'm done, everyone. I'm tired. I'm pooped. I'm beat. Whew, real tired, actually. And I will see everybody tomorrow. Thank you. I hope this was helpful. If you're not doing anything Saturday, the 16th at 11 a.m., I will be doing a Road to Wealth Double Your Money workshop if anybody's interested. So if you're there, we'll hope to see you. Deanna and Bill. Deanna, thank you to Deanna for reminding me. And Bill, two people that this was their first time here. A great big thank you. I hope it was what you bargained for. I hope you got something out of it. And we'll see everybody tomorrow, okay? You guys all take care. Have a great